Birthday here. Yep, but there's going to be no California love between these two teams in this one. Sinead, when you look at the individual matchups, the Lakers have essentially been the best team in basketball over the last 20 games, but there are some matchups that could cause some issues here. What can LA prove in this one?
Well, they can prove whether or not their defense is sustainable. Since January 15th, I think they've had the best defense in the NBA, and since January 30th, they've been really holding opponents to not shooting the paint. Opponents have shot the second fewest amount of shots in the paint. Now, LeBron James averaged, 14 rebounds per game the last two, 11.5 the last four. Can he keep going, holding down this team that is really suffering without interior size? Can their defense hold up against Zubac? That's the big question. Now, I know a lot of people say, hey, they did against Jokic, but you're going to have to do it time and time again. How much energy can they keep up with defensively is my point.
To me, this game is all about the Clippers. This is a must-win for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay.
They're half a game up on Golden State from being in the play-in tournament, right? They're in the postseason right now. You're getting the Lakers coming off a back-to-back. LeBron James, both him and Luka had to play a lot of minutes last night.
And both are questionable tonight.
Both are questionable. No Rui Hachimura, so you should be able to impose your will. Big Zubac should have it his way down there. Ty Lue will have this team prepared, but this is a must-win situation for the must-win tonight for the Clippers.
I thank y'all. I really do from the bottom of my heart. I'm very appreciative of what y'all said about the Clippers, because I don't think about them much. I love Ty Lue. I know he's a phenomenal coach. I love the fact that Jeff Van Gundy has upgraded them defensively. And I know James Harden, very, very proud of him and what he's been doing. And Norman Powell, I'm a fan. I don't take the Clippers seriously unless I know Kawhi Leonard is going to be available, and I never, ever, ever assume he is going to be available when it counts. So that leads me to the Los Angeles Lakers, the #1 team with defensive efficiency since January 15th. I'm looking at LeBron James in the fourth quarter, 11.2 points per game, first in the league, 60.6% shooting from the field, fourth in the league, total rebounds 16, first in the league, 40 years of age, 22nd season in the league. Playing in the fourth quarter the way that he's playing, I'm paying attention to defense, and I'm paying attention to that because that tells me what I should expect from the Lakers moving forward. I'm not thinking about the Clippers much.
I'm thinking about the Clippers. Look, the Lakers have an opportunity to go to the NBA.
Rick Perkins, I'm Malika Andrews. Through 1,230 games that make up the NBA regular season, sometimes there are times, right, where we might focus on a superstar showdown or maybe a measuring stick game for potential contenders or a chance for the champs to say, we're not going anywhere. Well, this Sunday showcase has all three wrapped into one. Stephen A., what are you most looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what Denver Nuggets team is going to show up and who's going to step up. As a starting five, they shoot 52% collectively from the field, about 40% from three-point range. They got a few dudes, I think 4 different dudes averaging like 25 minutes a game, shooting about 40% from the field or what have you. It's very impressive. But what's your bench? Your efficiency from your bench is ranked like 25th in the league. I want to see what they do against the Boston Celtics. Jokic is going to show up. We know that. We hope Jamal Murray will do so as well. Who else is going to show up for the Denver Nuggets? Because you're going to need that today to beat a Boston Celtics team that have lost 2 straight and damn sure ain't trying to lose 3 straight. You're going to have to show up.
There's so many storylines in this game, so let's get out and run. Brought to you by Samsung. It's harder to find 2 players who do more for their teams on the offensive end than Nikola Jokic and Jason Tatum. They're the only players to lead their team outright in points, rebounds, and assists this season. And today's matchup, it's a little bit of a contrast in styles here, right? The Nuggets, they lead in paint points per game, while the Celtics, they are last. However, Boston does counter that by attempting the most threes in the NBA, whereas the Denver Nuggets, on the other hand, they are 30th. And one similarity between these teams is their place in the standings. They're both second in their respective conferences, but there's a huge gap between themselves and the 1 seeds, the Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. You really can't count out either of these teams when it's all said and done. Bob, what is it about the Celtics team that makes them so special?
I think, Malika, you just showed it. I'm okay with Denver being the best in the league in the paint and Boston being the best from 3 because efficiency-wise, Denver's got the 2nd best offense in the league from an efficiency standpoint. Boston has the 4th. So it both works. The concern I have for Denver, Malika, is they're 15th best in the league in defense. Boston is 5th. That's where the Celtics, I think, have the edge in a game like this. And if these 2 teams meet in the finals, certainly the edge. But look at those stats. The fact that Boston can spread you out as much as they can, and Perk, you played the center position in the NBA. You know, when I play pickup basketball, I'd ask, who's the guy on the other team that can't shoot? Because I want to guard that guy. Because you don't have to work nearly as hard. Perk, when you're a 5 and you're out there running around guarding an Al Horford or Porzingis, talk about how much that stretches you out. That affects your entire defense, and the Celtics do it better than anybody as far as three-point shooting from multiple positions. You see 8 guys there averaging that many three-point attempts per game. It's hard to defend that team.
But Denver scores more points per game than Boston, despite taking 17 less threes a night. How is that even possible?
Well, one, you had the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, and 2, Jamal Murray finally arrived and decided to join the season. And when they have that 2-man game, it's hard to stop, especially when Jokic is the screener, because now that Jamal Murray has been balling, you put 2 on the ball, all of a sudden Jokic becomes your secondary decision maker. And Aaron Gordon, we know how he loves to play that dunker spot, and we talk about a tandem. It's one of the best tandems in the game is Jokic and Aaron Gordon. So that's how they're getting their points in the paint, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It's hard to stop that 2-man game between Jokic and Murray.
The championship pedigree, Stephen A., of both of these teams are undeniable, but this is the first time each conference leader has had a lead of at least 7 games when entering March. Where do you think the gap is smaller, Stephen A., between the Celtics and the Cavaliers, or between the Nuggets and the Thunder?
Well, clearly between the Celtics and the Cavaliers. I mean, I don't think there's any chance that Denver's catching OKC for the #1 seed. Neither is Boston, but I'm saying Boston's closer, not just because obviously they're 7.5 games out while Denver's 9.5 games out. You just look at the way OKC has been rolling throughout the year. We're concerned about OKC in the postseason. The regular season, they've been on a roll for the last 2 years. I see no reason that that's going to be disrupted. Whereas with Boston and Cleveland, you still have a lot of people out there wondering about Cleveland. I'm not. I've been saying they're the #1 threat to the Boston Celtics, but when you come out, for example, and you fall down 11-0, and you fall down 25-3, it's moments like that to say, what's going on here, before they ultimately come back and show you who they are. So I would say the answer to this question is Boston, although I don't think either of them are going to catch the top seed.
I think you're right. I don't think either of these teams, if the question is can they catch and get to the 1 seed, whether the Denver Nuggets...
I don't think it's quite so literally. I think it's more about the...
And I think, Malika, they're close. I mean, I don't know that you... I could see the Celtics beating the Cavs. A lot of people could see that. A lot of people predict that. That's not a crazy presumption. I could also see Denver beating OKC, although... I think the gap between those two is a little bit more just because Oklahoma City is so good defensively. But I trust Jokic so much. I may be overvaluing what he can do in a playoff series by himself because he's so good and can dominate a possession on the offensive side. And I always just say this about LeBron. LeBron could get you a good shot for himself or for anybody else. And Jokic, to me, is as good as anybody at getting a good offensive possession by running it through him.
Jokic is good, but I don't trust the Denver Nuggets, right? And we keep putting them as a team that's a legit title contender. The question is why? Why? Why do
Jokic,
but why? Team-wise, why do we put them in that conversation?
One, they've done it. I think they've done it. That's one reason.
2 seasons ago. Okay, so now you look at them this season, they're 14-15 against teams that has above 500 record, and against the top dogs, they have 1 win. 1 win. And so I'm looking at it, J.J. Redick has exposed something when the Lakers played them. I believe that teams are going to double-team Jokic, take away cutters, and the Denver Nuggets are going to have to knock down threes at a high level. I don't believe that they could do that. That is going to be the scouting report against them. I don't think the Denver Nuggets are a legit title contender. I don't think teams are afraid of them. Matter of fact, teams are ready to get their feet hot with the Denver Nuggets.
Well, I think there are a couple of things. Well, first of all, again, reiterating the point that their bench is 25th in offensive efficiency. So that doesn't help. Secondly, we've seen the Denver Nuggets in the past where Jokic explodes and nobody else shows up.
Yeah.
We have seen it. That's not foreign to us. So the notion, every time everybody throws in a question about the Denver Nuggets, okay, well, what's going to happen with Jokic? I'm saying go ahead and assume that he's going to be as great as we all know him to be. Who else is going to show up?
And that's the key.
And that's the question.
Stephen A., when they won it, and Perk, you know this, Jamal Murray was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably played the best basketball of his career.
Right.
That's what it's going to take. And it's fair to question if that can happen.
But he's been rounding into form over the last month.
He's been a lot better. And he cannot, if he falls back at all, you're right. Jokic will get 30, 20, and 15. And if Murray's getting 18 points, that's not going to do it. So it does require somebody to come with him, and it has to be Murray.
Well, he's the only guy, 20 points, 50, 40, 90 since the All-Star break. So he's doing his part now.
Yeah, I mean, he is, but let's be real here, right? They're last in the league. The Denver Nuggets are one of the worst teams in the league for its rim protection. You got to be able to defend the paint at a high level.
No question. On the defensive end is where they struggle. Offensively, though, they're second.
Yeah, because of the paint points. But, Malik, I'm telling you, that scouting report, those shoot-arounds get longer in the postseason, and what's going to happen is teams are going to dare them to beat them from the three-point line, and I don't believe that they could do it at a high level.
This is the odds to take home the award this year. But making history, it's not easy. Only 5 players have ever won at least 4 MVPs, all legends of the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, LeBron James, Wilt Chamberlain. That is the company that Jokic is trying to join. And when you look at the leaderboards this season, Jokic, he's right there with the best of the best. He's on pace to become the first player to ever finish top 3 in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game all time. So maybe we can see what SGA has to say about the MVP race on ESPN, our NBA Sunday doubleheader later today. The Thunder facing the Spurs at 7 Eastern. Then KD, Devin Booker, and the Suns host Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. Coverage, it tips with more NBA Countdown. That's at 6 o'clock Eastern. But right now, it's time for Pick and Roll, brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. All weekend long, ESPN Bet Sportsbook is celebrating the Oscars. Sign up today with the promo code GOLD to receive a $50 bonus bet. And don't forget, after the Nuggets and Celtics game, it leads directly into the Oscars red carpet coverage. But we don't need to wait. Oh, no, no. Since the Oscars are tonight, we'd like to do our own NBA version. It is time for the Stephen A's.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? How you do? How you do? How you do? The Oscars are tonight on ABC, so it's apropos that I make sure to share some of my best, my winners for certain categories right here. Okay, you ready for this, Big Bird? No. You ready for this? You ready for this, Malika?
No.
I am ready.
Give me the nominees, please. Introduce them, Malika. Please introduce them.
For the Best Supporting Actor, the Stephen A's, your nominees are, first, Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Okay.
Then the Boston Celtics.
Okay, keep going.
Supporting Jason Tatum.
Jamal.
And then Jamal Murray.
Okay.
The co-star with the 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic.
Right.
And we have 2 new faces in new places. Jimmy Butler in Golden State next to Steph Curry. And Luka Doncic in LA with LeBron. So Stephen A., your
The
first
winner
Stephen A.
is Jimmy Butler. He is the best supporting actor thus far since he has arrived in Golden State. We see how impressive they have looked. We see how impressive he has looked. Not only is he putting up some buckets, he's getting to the free throw line. That's spelling for Steph Curry, freeing him up to be the babyface assassin. We know him to be. The Golden State Warriors are a legitimate threat in some people's eyes outside of Big Perk in the Western Conference. Why would he not get Best Supporting Actor thus far?
The Academy didn't get to vote. We didn't. I feel like it's a one-man vote.
It is a one-man vote.
Okay.
Next we have Stephen A's Best Picture. And the nominees for the NBA season's Best Picture so far, there are plenty of flicks, but the Best Picture, Steph Curry, when he beats Klay Thompson in his return to the Bay Area. And then you have the Night celebration. Of course, you have Ja on Wemby. Could this be the picture of the year? It didn't count, but it could count in these awards. LeBron and Bronny making NBA history, checking into the game together on opening night. And then, of course, Shaden Sharp, his ridiculous poster from this past week. So those are your nominees for Best Picture of the season so far. Stephen A., the Stephen A. goes to.
I'm in the spirit of giving. And in this particular situation, I want to give it to Shaden Sharp of the Portland Trailblazers. We haven't mentioned them since the 90s. Damn it, give them some love. This dunk right here is nasty. I know it's against the hapless Wizards, worst team in basketball. I know Portland has won 4 straight, so we got to pay attention to that. But this young kid right here averages 17 and a half points a game. This brother right here had the nastiest dunk of the year as far as I'm concerned. I want to give him some love. It goes to Shaden Sharp.
By the way, whoever did this trophy.
They did.
That's how you say it.
They did.
All right,
It was originally wrong. I had them corrected a little bit. They've done a good job.
We have another category
Not the only
Stephen
thing
A's
good.
to give out here, Stephen A.
Right.
The nominees for Best Actor, the best main character in the game. The nominees are MVP frontrunner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander
Right.
from the West-leading Oklahoma City Thunder. Nikola Jokic, who's currently averaging 29-point triple-double. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's averaging a cool 30, 12, and 6 a night. And of course, LeBron James, who at 40 years old has led the Lakers to a top 3 seed. So Stephen A., who wins the second ever Stephen A.
We
for
did
the
this before.
best
The best actor goes to LeBron James. The man has been absolutely sensational. 40 years of age, 22nd season in the league. Balling, the Lakers have climbed to a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. But that's not the only reason I've named him best actor. I've also named him best actor because I don't know if y'all noticed or not. We hate too much. I mean, did you see him? Did you see him? Did you see him with the tears? Did you see him, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see us being victimized? Do you see the way they talk about us as players? Do you see the way they don't appreciate us? I mean, God forbid, can we do anything right? It's not enough to call him the second greatest player in the world. It's not enough to call him the GOAT of longevity. It's not enough to talk about the Lakers being, a legitimate